everybody, it's Michelle, and I am going to be talking to you about, the choices that we make and how sometimes when we say I can't, how much that actually impacts what our results are in our life. And so a lot of times what I've found is that when I'm talking to a lot of my clients, one of their biggest blocks is the way that they actually talk to themselves. And saying I can't is creating such a mental block within yourself that you're actually putting yourself in a position where you actually fail. Now, the biggest thing that I hear from most people is fear of failure. So when you tell yourself that you can't, you are actually failing. So I want to kind of talk to you about a different approach that you can take that is actually going to put you into a path of actually making choices that actually benefit you and get rid of the blocks. So let's get started. So one of the things that I want you to do, and I want you to just kind of sit with me on this for a second, is I want you to think for a moment of something that you can't do, okay? Or that you're saying that you can't do. And I want you to just process it for a second, okay? And I want you to say something like, okay, let's just use something really simple, like a habit, okay? Like, I can't quit smoking. And I want you to just think about it for a second. And as you're sitting with me, I want you to actually say those words out loud. Whatever your I can't is, I want you to say it out loud. Okay? So let's just go ahead and do it right now. And let's say, I can't, dot, dot, dot. Let's say that it's, I can't quit smoking. Okay? And hello, how are you from the Philippines? So let's keep on going now as we're progressing, and I want you to say, now I want you to actually feel that inside of you for a second, okay? Hi, Marcy. So say something inside of yourself, Marcy, that you can't do. Okay? Just say it out loud. Say, I can't, dot, dot, dot. Okay? Now, as you're doing that, just kind of close your eyes for a second and say it. And then I want you to feel what it feels like. So let's just take a moment to do that. What does it feel like? Well, most people that I ask that question to, they usually say it feels defeated. A lot of people start tearing up because they feel like there's something that they want really badly, but they can't seem to move past it. It feels like a block. And it's the words that you're choosing. So let's try something different, okay? Let's now say the very same thing, but let's say it as I choose not to. Yeah, it does feel sad. It feels really sad because, what we're doing is we're telling ourselves that we can't ever do something that we really truly want to do. Okay? So let's change it up and let's actually say something different. And now I want you to say, I choose not to. Whether it's smoking or losing weight or changing your dietary habits or going back to school or getting a new job or manifesting something that you really want badly, I want you to now say, I choose not to. Now close your eyes as you say it and say, I choose not to. Now as you're choosing not to, I want you to feel that for a second, okay? And I want you to now think about what is it that you're actually feeling now when you're saying, I choose not to quit smoking, or I choose not to lose weight, or I choose not to start my own business. I want you to think about that just for a second, okay? And as you're choosing not to, tell me or think about what it is that you're actually feel now, as opposed to when you tell yourself that you can't. What is it that you feel? Well, most of my clients say, well, I kind of feel like there's hope. I feel like that it's my choice and that in this, that there's possibility. So now, if we can just focus on the fact that there's a possibility, just a possibility that something could change. Yeah, that you have a choice. You're absolutely right, Marcy. You're absolutely right. That something could change. That there's a possibility. Okay? So, as we focus on that, there's a possibility. When you realize that the things that seem to be blocked inside of you, the things that you can't seem to move past, the things that you have told yourself all along that you couldn't do, and you realize that it's a choice, the second that you realize it's a choice will be the second that you realize that you don't have to, or that you can choose something different, or choose not to. So let's just use the example of smoking, for example. You say, I can't quit smoking. I choose not to quit smoking. And then when you realize that you're choosing it, you're realizing that it's a choice. And when you realize it's a choice, then you can choose to go a different direction. Okay, so now let's just kind of back it up a little bit, okay? Here, let's go a little bit deeper, okay? Let's just go just a tad deeper, and let's find out why you're choosing to do this particular action, okay? Why? So now just go back to this I choose, whatever it is, okay? And just sit on it for a second and then ask yourself, why am I choosing that? Why am I choosing that? And as you ask yourself that question, why you are choosing, a lot of times it's because it's safe, or it's comfortable, or it relieves your stress. A lot of times when you find those answers, you can actually find a different answer to resolve the problem. So we're just going to use the smoking thing since it's a really easy thing to work with, okay? So you choose not to. You ask yourself why, you're choosing this. A lot of times it's because it calms me, relieves my stress. So when you get to that point, you know what that answer is. And sometimes you can do what I call the 5 whys. Okay? So you ask yourself why, and then you come up with an answer. And if that's not enough, then you go and you ask yourself why again. Why, and then why, and then why, and then why. And then you get down to a point to where you actually, by the 5th time, you end up finding out what the bottom line is. And then you can actually make some choices to go a different direction, okay? So once you realize that it is a choice, then you can choose not to, if you want to, that is, okay? So I just wanted to kind of share this with you today because this seems to be a topic this week that I'm dealing with a lot of my clients, where everybody is kind of in that space right now. And I want you to really realize that it's a choice. And when it's a choice, you can make a different choice. And when you realize why you're choosing this, then a lot of times you can choose something different that helps satisfy that need. So for instance, if it is stress that you're dealing with, then you can choose something else that releases that stress. Something that's healthy, something that's different. Maybe you can choose meditation or yoga or walking or getting an animal or, something completely different that actually relieves a lot of this. You decided this today. Well, that's great. I'm happy to hear that, Marcy. Yeah, it does make you feel good. Yeah. And that's been the ongoing thing that I've been hearing from a lot of my clients, is that when they realize it's a choice, then they realize that, wow, it feels good that I can actually make a choice to do something different, okay? But it comes with being honest with yourself. It comes with actually admitting to yourself, and it really doesn't matter if you're admitting to somebody else, because half of these people around you, it's their opinions don't really matter, because they've got their own issues and their own problems, and people that are giving you advice half the time can't even take their own advice that they're giving you, okay? So let's just not focus so much on what other people think, and let's just focus on being honest with yourself. Just take a moment right now and just be honest with yourself and just say to yourself, what is really going on here? And then tell yourself, okay, I can come up with a different solution to the problem. I can come up with a different way to give myself exactly what I need. If it's stress, if it's anger, if it's financial problems, there's other ways of dealing with it besides saying I can't. Because that's just kind of a cop out. That, it's kind of like saying I'm trying. You're either doing or you're not doing. There's no such thing as trying. You're either building a house or you're in the process of making something or you're not. You're either writing a book or you're not. There is no trying. If you're picking up a pen and piece of paper and you're doing something about your life or putting action to creating something, then you're doing it. So there's no such thing as trying. Okay? So this whole I can't thing, it's just an illusion. And it's an illusion to cover up the pain that you're not dealing with. And so it's time to kind of start dealing with that pain and figure out a different solution to the problem and find a different way to be able to fix that pain that is healthier and emotionally healthier, mentally healthier, spiritually healthier. And once you get to that point and you realize that it is a choice, then things start to change. I started taking some classes that I was doing that where I was trying to learn some Hebrew. And I kind of got behind because of everything that was going on. And if I was to sit there and tell myself, I can't make any time to study my Hebrew. I can't make any time to do this. Then I become defeated and my mind starts to buy into it and I become a self-fulfilled prophecy. But if I say to myself I'm choosing not to because I'm in the process of a move, I'm in a process of some transitions, and as soon as I finish some of these things, I can get back into my studies. But right now I'm choosing to put certain things that are more important in front of me that I need to accomplish. And you tell yourself the why. Why am I choosing not to do this? So I did that. And once I started getting settled in, then I was like, all right, now I'm going to give myself permission to go back to studying my Hebrew. Do you see what I'm saying? It's really important that you be honest with yourself because then you start opening up the possibility of creating change. Anyway, this is Michelle Thompson, and I'm here to help you create the best version of you. Have a wonderful day.